This dog I've seen is the best at taking care of babies. They teach babies how to eat by burying their entire face in the food bowl. They teach babies how to hide things. The baby throws its favorite toy into the sandbox and then covers it with dirt. They even act as walking supports to help babies learn to walk. When they go out together, the dog protects the child, preventing the baby from touching the chewing gum stuck on the lamppost and worrying about the baby getting lost. When it thunders, the dog worries that the thunder will scare the baby and specially accompanies the baby to sleep. Little dog Jack worries more about the baby than the parents, and due to Jack's excessive concern for the baby, he unexpectedly developed anxiety. But Jack is not the only multi-talented dog. His friends are also remarkable. Jack's good friend, Blue Cat, wakes up his owner every morning by gently shaking his face. The adopted rogue rabbit, although soft and cute now, used to be a notorious underworld boss, battling snakes and being the boss of all animals. Nowadays, the rogue rabbit no longer fights, but fantasizes daily about being a superhero, fantasies that Jack often interrupts. As Jack's anxiety worsens, he scratches his neck incessantly, causing bald spots, so Jack was taken to the vet by his owner and had to wear a cone of shame. When he returned home, Jack learned that he was actually going on a trip, so Jack entrusted his favorite little bee to his good friend Mary. After Jack left, Mary slept hugging the little bee, dreaming of a wonderful life after marrying Jack. She accidentally bounced the little bee, and it flew into the downstairs home of the old grandmother, but she dared not pick it up because the old grandmother kept hundreds of cats, who fought fiercely over the little bee. Mary could only seek help from Blue Cat, who decided to disguise himself as a cat and sneak into the old grandmother's house to retrieve the little bee. Meanwhile, Jack accompanied his owner to a relative's farm. Jack was curious about everything on the farm, but he remained very anxious. Here, he was looked down upon by various animals, mocked not only by the cows but also chased around by turkeys. Luckily, Jack met the assertive big dog Roger here. However, they had disagreements on the issue of protecting the child's safety. Jack worried incessantly about the child's every move, wanting the child to always stay within his protective range, while Roger believed the child should be allowed to grow freely and learn from mistakes. However, at night, when Jack wanted to rest inside with the owners, he was refused entry by the farmer, so Jack, who had never spent a night outside, was locked out of the house. Sounds of various animals came from the forest: crows cawing, raccoons grinding their teeth, and deer bellowing, donning an eerie atmosphere to the night, which made Jack shiver with fear. At this moment, a hungry fox also spotted Jack. Jack was cornered against a rock by the fox, just as the fox was about to attack him, when the big dog Roger appeared in time, drove away the fox, saved Jack, and helped him remove the cone of shame. Whether Jack's farm trip can cure his anxiety disorder, let's wait and see. This is the most talented rapping rabbit I've ever seen.
I got bras in Atlanta, twisted rope, drinking Fanta, credit cards and the scammers.
Not only is it skilled at rapping, but it also has a strong sense of justice and enjoys helping dogs have fun. One day, Daisy came to ask the rogue rabbit for help, hoping it could rescue a poor tiger bought by a villain. The rogue rabbit, who always fantasized about being a great hero, immediately agreed without hesitation. It quickly changed into its special battle outfit, armed itself with a carrot, and then hopped onto its pink drift car. With a swift drift, they arrived at the circus where the white tiger was held. They sneaked into the circus tent and witnessed the heartless boss forcing the trembling white tiger to jump from a high platform, cracking a whip to enforce compliance. The white tiger, terrified, refused to perform and was locked in a cage by the cruel boss, who also stationed 4 vicious wolves as guards. The rogue rabbit cautiously approached the cage, but the wolves spotted them, growling threateningly. Meanwhile, Daisy noticed the key hanging on the railing and staged a clever act to distract the dumbfounded wolves. With nimble moves and agility, Daisy spun around, dodging the wolves' attacks effortlessly. On the other side, the rogue rabbit struggled to lift a heavy hammer, attempting to break the lock on the cage. Despite its efforts, it only managed to injure itself without unlocking the cage. Just then, a hungry wolf broke free from its iron chain and chased after the rogue rabbit. The rabbit used the terrain to evade the wolf's attacks, hiding itself inside a teddy bear toy. But the wolf still managed to find it. Just as the wolf was about to catch up to the rogue rabbit, its chain got stuck. Daisy seized the opportunity to press the amusement ride switch, successfully trapping the wolf in a seat. Afterwards, Daisy and the rogue rabbit used the key to successfully rescue the white tiger from its cage. Meanwhile, the once fearsome wolves were now tied up to a nearby pole. To find a safe haven for the white tiger, the rogue rabbit brought it to the home of an old dog, whose owner was often away on business. Here, the tiger would be safe, surrounded by a group of puppies trained by the old dog, ensuring it wouldn't be bored. Luckily, the puppies got along well with the tiger, and with their pitiful act, they convinced the old dog to let the tiger stay. On the other side, after devising a plan, Mary went to the cat's lair to find the little bee. Upon arrival, she clumsily stumbled, a less than dignified entrance indeed. However, she managed to locate the bee's trail on the top level of the cat climbing frame. Climbing up was a challenge, especially with a giant cat already occupying the bee. Just as she secured the bee, the fat cat noticed her. Quickly, she signaled the guinea pig to initiate Plan A, using a laser pointer to distract the fat cat, and eventually luring it off the climbing frame, causing both the bee and the cat to fall. Realizing Plan A had failed, Mary immediately enacted Plan B, pretending to catch and eat the red dot. She won over the cats, not only retrieving the bee successfully, but also gaining a group of feline allies. This little lamb got trapped on the edge of a cliff because of its greed for grass. Luckily, Roger and Jack found the lamb just in time. However, Roger was too heavy and the fragile branches couldn't support his weight. It fell to Jack, who was lighter but trembling with fear. To rescue the lamb, encouraged by Roger, Jack gathered his courage and, risking his life, successfully saved the lamb. Jack's bravery earned Roger's admiration. However, Jack's overestimation of his abilities led to the lamb grazing near the cliff. Previously, Roger had earned the admiration of the dogs while herding livestock, which left Jack feeling inadequate. To prove himself, Jack attempted to drive away a fat pig. Despite his best efforts, the pig remained unmoved. Jack resorted to biting its tail, causing the pig to fling him away, damaging the sheep pen in the process. The frightened sheep scattered, and despite Roger's efforts to calm them, one lamb went missing. They had to venture into the forest to search for the lost lamb. The next day, as they parted ways, Roger gave his beloved red scarf to Jack, who remained melancholic leaning on the car. Meanwhile, the unscrupulous circus owner discovered Daisy's lost hairpin, prompting him to release wolves into the city to track the white tiger's whereabouts. Meanwhile, the old dog found the rogue rabbit and demanded the return of the white tiger due to its destructive nature. As it chewed on the TV like it was munching on potato chips, the rogue rabbit had no choice but to hide the white tiger at Jack's house. When Jack returned home that night, he discovered the white tiger. The animals prepared to discuss where to place the white tiger, but the wolves discovered them. Empowered by Roger's courage, Jack decided to confront the three wolves alone, but was overwhelmed and kicked into the basement by the unscrupulous circus owner. The rogue rabbit fled with the white tiger, but encountered its old rival, the acrobatic monkey. The rogue rabbit was pressed to the ground and then thrown into an air duct. The white tiger was surrounded by the wolves. Daisy and the white tiger were caught by the unscrupulous circus owner. The rogue rabbit drove with Jack and the guinea pig on the road. They also sought off-site support through the walkie-talkie. Mary ate all the old lady's cat food, and then had the cats come to the old lady with innocent big eyes, carrying their food bowls. Unable to find the cat food, the old lady had no choice but to take the cats with her to buy more. The cats took control of the steering wheel and raced off in a flash of sparks and lightning. Meanwhile, the tiger was dragged onto a train by the unscrupulous circus owner. Just before the train departed, the rogue rabbit and Jack managed to board. Jack used a steel pipe from the train's cargo to fend off the wolves. The rogue rabbit encountered its old rival, the acrobatic monkey, and they engaged in a fierce battle, trading punches. Taking advantage of the monkey's distraction, Daisy kicked him into a cannon and lit it, launching the monkey into the air. Jack and the rogue rabbit found the unscrupulous circus owner. Jack grabbed hold of the villain's waist and wouldn't let go, while the rogue rabbit leaped onto the villain's face, vigorously swinging its tiny fists. With their teamwork, they successfully rescued the white tiger. However, just as they were about to leave, the unscrupulous circus owner pulled out a handgun from his coat. Luckily, Mary arrived just in time in her car and swiftly dealt with the villain. The white tiger was then taken home by the old lady to be cared for.